Hello everyone, this is R.S. Miller at the endtimenews.org and today is October 14th, 2013. This is your Fast Track Report. Countdown to debt crisis, a very dangerous moment. Global financiers are already looking to de-Americanize their money. A U.S. debt default could hit on Thursday, and world leaders are second-guessing the dominant role America plays in finance. Regardless of the final decision in Washington, confidence and credibility in the U.S. has already eroded. In an editorial published by the Chinese state-owned press agency Xinhua, a columnist says the U.S. economy has failed and put many countries who hold state assets in dollars at risk. To that end, several cornerstones should be laid to underpin a de-Americanized world, the editorial read. Last week, China, the biggest U.S. creditor, started to make preparations for a technical default on loans. The European Central Bank and the People's Bank of China have agreed to start supplying each other with their currencies, avoiding the dollar as an intermediary currency. The currency swap agreement will last for 3 years and provide a maximum of 350 billion yuan to the ECB and 45 billion euro to the PBC. In a future sign of growing distrust, China introduced a so-called haircut or a discount on the value of U.S. treasuries held as collateral against future trades. Developing and developed nations are equally concerned, and institutions like the World Bank and the Intermonetary Fund, the IMF, have issued several warnings. Christine Lagarde, managing director of the IMF, told the U.S. they must uphold their financial promises to the international community and raise their debt ceiling. Failing to do so would put the world at risk of tipping yet again into recession. Several days ago, Jim Yong Kim, president of World Bank, said that we are only 5 days away from a very dangerous moment and urged U.S. policymakers to come to a resolution.
We're now 5 days away from a very dangerous moment. I urge U.S. policymakers to quickly come to a resolution before they reach the debt ceiling deadline. The closer we get to the deadline, the greater the impact will be for the developing world. Inaction could result in interest rates rising, confidence falling, and growth slowing. If this comes to pass, it could be a disastrous event for the developing world, and that will, in turn, greatly hurt the developed economies as well.
Tehran says it will not ship out uranium stockpiles as demanded by Western nations ahead of a new round of nuclear talks. Iran has rejected a demand by Western countries to ship out uranium stockpiles ahead of a fresh round of talks on its contested nuclear program in Geneva. Abbas Araghchi, the deputy foreign minister, said on state television on Sunday, "Shipping the material abroad is our red line. We do not allow shipment of even 1 gram of uranium from Iran." He, however, signaled flexibility on other aspects of the atomic activities. "We will negotiate regarding the form, amount, and various levels of uranium enrichment," he said. Araghchi's comments came ahead of negotiations between Iran and the 5 permanent UN members of the Security Council and Germany to be held in Geneva on October 15th and 16th. Iran still insists its nuclear program is peaceful and it only seeks reactor energy and medical use, while the West suspects it of seeking to make a nuclear weapon. Meanwhile, at the opening of Knesset's winter session on Monday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated his position on Iran, saying that Israel would not allow Iran to attain a nuclear weapon. Netanyahu repeated his contention that Iran was fooling the world in its ostensible readiness to bring its rogue nuclear program into international legitimacy, and said he was convinced Iran seeks Israel's destruction. Car bomb kills 27 people in Syria. A car bomb killed at least 27 people, including 3 children, on Monday in the Syrian town of Darkush in northwestern Idlib province near the Turkish border, a rights group said. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said the death toll was expected to rise as a large number of people suffered serious injuries, according to the AFP press. Activists from the Syrian Revolutionary General Commission Network said the blast took place in the market area of Darkush town, which is under Syrian opposition control. Videos posted by activists online showed the aftermath of the blast, with one car ablaze and residents carrying bodies on makeshift stretchers and extensive damage to buildings around the blast site. Darkush is just a few kilometers from the Turkish border. Former Israeli Naval Chief Maram detained at Heathrow Airport. According to Ynet News, the commander of the Israeli Navy during Operation Cast Lead and the raid on the Gaza-bound Marmara ship was held for questioning upon arrival in the UK. Major General Eli Maram was held for questioning at around noon on Monday at London's Heathrow Airport upon his arrival in Britain. Maram was held for a short time, during which he phoned the Justice Ministry in Israel. The threat of being arrested in Europe has concerned senior Israeli military officials and politicians for a number of years now, in light of lawsuits filed by pro-Palestinian organizations, although in most cases, at least in Britain, the measures taken against Israeli officials have been largely symbolic. This threat appeared to have been reduced in 2011 when the UK amended its universal jurisdiction law, which allows private citizens to obtain arrest warrants for war crimes against foreigners visiting Britain. The law was amended to require the consent of the Director of Public Prosecutions in case a warrant was issued. In the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 1, "Now I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures saying with a voice like thunder, 'Come and see.' And I looked, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given him, and he went out conquering and to conquer." Revelation 6:1 is the start of the Great Tribulation period. Jesus Christ, the Lamb that appeared as if it were slain, opened the first seal and ushered in the era of the Antichrist, represented by the rider on the white horse. The Great Tribulation period, which is 7 years, will be a time of trouble unlike any in all of human history, and will culminate in the Battle of Armageddon, a thermonuclear war, and the return of Jesus Christ. The time of the opening of the first seal is closer than many people think. The signs which Jesus told us about are being fulfilled even now. Although no one knows the day or the hour, we will know when it is near, even at the doors. That is, if we watch. Friends, we are in fact living in the last days. The signs are all around us, but if we don't pay attention, we will miss it. Are you saved? Follow the link in the box below and pray the prayer of salvation with a sincere heart, and you will be saved. May God bless you.